The cemetery was silent except for the soft rustle of leaves and the distant sound of traffic far beyond the iron gates. Julian Cross, a man whose name once commanded boardrooms and headlines, knelt alone before a marble gravestone that gleamed under the late afternoon sun. His tailored black suit, worth more than most people's monthly income, was wrinkled at the knees. It was the only sign that he had been here for hours. The stone read simply, "Beloved daughter, rest in peace." Beneath the words was a photograph of a smiling little girl with bright eyes and a crooked grin. Julian stared at it as if memorizing every line of her face, afraid that even after all these years, time might steal her from him again. His shoulders shook as he covered his face with trembling hands. The tears came freely, unchecked, soaking into the grass below. Money had bought him penthouses, cars, influence, and power, but it had never been able to buy forgiveness. And it had never brought her back. "I'm sorry," he whispered hoarsely, his voice breaking. "I should have listened. I should have been there." Behind him, a few meters away, a young girl stood partially hidden by the thick trunk of an old oak tree. She wore a simple dark dress, her long hair catching the sunlight. Her small hands were clenched at her sides as she watched the man crumble before the grave. Her father, she had been told he was heartless, a monster, a man who chose money over family, that he never looked back. But the man kneeling in the dirt, sobbing like his world had ended, didn't look like a monster to her. When Emily was 6, her life shattered in a single night. A heated argument, shouting, her father storming out, her mother crying in the kitchen, then the accident that followed weeks later, the fire that consumed their small house while Emily was asleep. At least, that was the story told to the world. Julian had believed it. He had identified a small body, burned beyond recognition. He had buried his daughter and let guilt bury him alive alongside her. What no one knew was that Emily had been pulled from the flames by a neighbor before the fire spread. Severely injured, she had been taken to another city, another hospital. Her mother, desperate and angry, made a decision fueled by pain. She told the world Emily was dead and disappeared with her. Julian searched for years, but grief and false records defeated even his wealth. Emily grew up hearing stories of a father who didn't care enough to come back. But as she got older, cracks formed in that narrative. Anonymous trust funds appeared every year. Birthdays were marked by gifts left at doorsteps. College tuition paid in full by someone who never signed a name. At 16, curiosity overcame fear. Emily began digging. It didn't take long to trace the donations, the shell companies, the careful anonymity, all leading back to one man. Julian Cross. She followed him one day, watched him from a distance, saw how he visited the grave every month without fail, how he spoke to the stone as if it could hear him. And now, standing behind him, she saw the truth no one had ever told her. "I failed you," Julian said, his voice raw. "I thought providing was enough. I thought I had time. If I could trade every dollar I own for one more day with you, I would." Emily's chest tightened. Her throat burned. Every step she took toward him felt like stepping off a cliff. He froze when he heard the crunch of footsteps behind him. Slowly, Julian turned. For a moment, time seemed to stop. The girl standing there looked exactly like the photograph etched into stone. Older, taller, but unmistakable. The same eyes, the same face that haunted his dreams. His breath caught. His mind rejected what his eyes saw. "This isn't funny," he whispered, fear and hope colliding. "I've imagined this too many times." Emily's voice trembled. "Dad." The world collapsed. Julian staggered to his feet, his face drained of color. "No, no, you're..." His knees buckled, and he would have fallen if Emily hadn't rushed forward and caught him. He clutched her arms as if she might vanish. His hands shook as he touched her face, her hair, her shoulders, proof she was real. "You're alive," he breathed, a broken laugh escaping through tears. "You're alive." Emily nodded, tears streaming freely now. "I never stopped wondering why you didn't come." Julian pulled her into his arms, holding her with a desperation born of years of loss. I thought you were gone. They told me you were gone. I buried my heart here. They stood there, father and daughter, surrounded by silence and headstones, while the weight of lost years pressed down on them. The grave no longer marked an ending. It marked a lie, and as the sun dipped lower, casting golden light over the cemetery, Julian Cross held the miracle he thought he had lost forever, finally knowing that some things, even death and regret, could be undone.